and welcome back to BG5 Live. So we are approaching the end of March, episode 21.
Welcome everyone to BG5 Live. This is the show for BG5 and human design professionals, students, and enthusiasts who want a deeper understanding of how to apply human design to business so that they can thrive in their careers and support their clients in doing the same. So we have Mike here today. We have a special guest, Jason Lee here, and of course me, Vanessa Naja, and really excited to dive into some Penta skills today.
I just love your introductions. They're so cool. So we are in session number 2 or podcast number 2 of our Penta Skills and Strengths. And so we have some very special guests, very excited. We have Banu Seaton, we had Banu on probably 2 or 3 months ago just before she was starting her BG5 OC16 pass, which I really hear about, which was very exciting. We loved having you. And Jason Lee is hailing from Taipei. He has been gracious enough to show up at midnight for this. So he looks wide awake. I'm really surprised, and we're really psyched to have him here. So Jason, I understand that you have taken every single class in BG5, which is astounding. Would you like to share your experiences of what it's been like in the Institute for you?
Hi everyone. I'm Jason from Malaysia, but currently in Taiwan, Taipei. I liked about the whole syllabus, the BG5 syllabus, is because it's very down to earth. That the things that we share here is actually that I can easily use in my daily life, no matter in my work life or my personal life. So I enjoy it very much. So that's why I keep on attend every semester. I make sure myself, like from year 2020, I start to get involved in BG5 and then start to like learn part by part slowly every month and then every semester until now.
Jason, I know that we talked a little bit before we jumped in the session. Are you using BG5 with clients either just to understand people you're working with or sharing their designs with them?
Yes, I do. I not really using the design, but using the concept by itself. For example, talking about neutrinos, talking about how people influence others, and talking about where to fit in, what's behavior that I have or others have. So I use the knowledge of BG5 more towards like the interaction, the communication, how to deal with people, because the main thing about this life, I believe, is related to people, and then people are the only issue and the only problem is this in the world, I believe so. So that's why I spend a lot of time not actually analyzing others, but more towards like analyzing myself, like when I sitting next to that person, how come my behavior or my intention shift, my energy shift. So I start to realize all these details in order to be with people, whether am I going to join them or cooperate with them or not, mainly based on my body reaction, body sensations, to understand whether I have the move or not.
So you have a lot of definition in your design, and my design is, in contrast, is so open. So I have this ability to pick up on frequencies. So this is only the first or second time we've actually met. But knowing your studies, knowing how much you know about design, your frequency to me kind of radiates this level of self-acceptance. Do you feel like since knowing your design, that process has really blossomed within you?
Yes. Knowing my design actually helped me to mix. Because the key thing is, I live my life and then I believe on. I need to try a lot of things. I need to I need to do this and that in order to fine tune what I really want in life. And then I thought that is what everybody need to have. And then I emphasize on like our life need to have life discovery. I even develop things to help people, to support people to discover themselves. All these things is actually based on the body graph that I have. So after I learned human design and BG5, only I start to make sense like why my belief works like this, why my reaction like this. And then if you can see my body graph, you'll definitely know that I'm very close to myself. I'm not that open. But the interesting part is my job, I need to be open. So I know how to deal with it. So I start to realize that when I be with myself, then I can 100% to being myself. Then when I be with others, so I need to know what's the energy, what's the flow that we have at that moment in order for me to move forward. Does that make
Well,
sense?
we feel lucky because you used the word discovery, which is pretty much what we're going to be talking about today. So I love that you brought that theme in already. So Jason, we're gonna come back and we're gonna have you share so much. I wanted to check in with Banu. So Banu, I feel like this having you here today is really wonderful because feel like Vanessa and I are catching you on bookend. So last time we had you, which was again a couple months ago, you were just starting your OC16 class, teaching for the first time. So I actually, unfortunately, I haven't been able to attend live, but I can see that how much your students are learning. What's been your experience of teaching OC16 for the first time?
Well, it's just been such a beautiful journey because I think so. I've obviously done the certification myself. I've studied it deeply to be able to teach it as well. So going through that teacher training piece, and now I'm teaching it. And the best thing about human design is the more you review it in classes, there's something that you learn. So first of all, it's just been such a great learning journey for me. And I have a great class, so they're so enthusiastic about this knowledge. So we have a lot of questions coming, lots of like, okay, how does this work in real life question type of thing. So there's so much discussion. So I'm blessed with the journey so far. So we have finished semester 1. And everybody's so excited to move into the next semester. We're thinking like maybe we're going to move semester 3 to a little advanced. We're not going to take a break because everybody wants to understand how it really works and get through it. So yeah, so very exciting. Yeah, it just morphs something new. So it's like this brand new thing that we're rediscovering together because it's different from the personal application. What we learn in BG5, it's different. It's completely new set of information. So exciting.
It sounds like you're going through this inner transformation process too as you're teaching it for the first time. You seem so excited. Your students must be just loving your class and see it.
Yeah. So.
All right, so we're gonna move in. Probably so many questions we could ask, but we're gonna stay focused, Vanessa and I, because we got a topic. So today we're going to be talking about if we divide that, what we call the Penta zone, into different areas. So we have, again, energy resource to identity to communication action. For our human design people, it's sacral, G, and throat. That one particular area is what we call the Penta zone. So we're going to be looking at the lower part of that. So the last session, we looked at the 515, which was always on the left. This time we're going over to the right. We're going to be talking about the 2946. So a simple title for this is Aura Stabilizer. So this is the place where things begin to gel together. So just as a review, so if this is your first time listening to this or just orienting to the Penta, let me give you some just overviews of this, and then we'll go deeper into the 2946. So skills in the Penta. So remember when we looked at, we don't call it a gate or a trait in BG5 when we're thinking in terms of the Penta. Remember, Penta is a small group of 3 to 5 people. So this transformation happens between a gate or a trait, and it turns into a skill. So when When you step into a group, your gait characteristics transform to more of a business skill. So that's the general theory that we're working under. So again, we're on the lower right portion of the pentagraph. So we're talking about the 46, which is our aura stabilizer. This is coordination. This is bringing the group together in a way that stabilizes. The personality begins to show up here. And the 29 is the integrity, loyalty. So remember, again, we're just giving a little bit of theory just to help you understand it. Again, if this is your first time, if you have definition, especially whole strength, which Jason does, then you are someone who contributes in a big way to the Penta, but you can also need managing. You can also need direction. You can also need guidance, advice to help you fit into the Penta flow. So again, last thing we'll say on this general sense, the lower pentagraph skills are the internal working. We can think of this as a unified group. Because what happens in a penta is these 3 to 5 people come together. The penta forms its own energy field, its own aura, and it pulls these particular either 12 skills or 6 strengths. So when we get to look at this transformation, we're starting with, again, the 46 is on top, the 29 is below. The 46 is coordination. This is the ability to stabilize the group into a cohesive functioning unit. This is where the personality of the group is formed, is developed. On the bottom side, out of the energy resource, is the 29. This is the commitment, the ability to help the group commit to a goal and achieve it. We are all in this together and fully committed as a team. Now, just as I said before, Jason has both the 46 and the 29. We get to also hear from Banu, who has only the 29. So we get to juxtapose. Now, Vanessa and I are totally on the sidelines here. We're going to be the one asking questions. Vanessa and I don't have anything in this Penta zone at all. So we are the observers. We can reflect back, but we have our experts here helping us. So starting with the 46, Vanessa, can I turn this over to you?
Sure. So 46 in your personal design. So we're not looking at it within the Penta. This is about determination, and it's about having a gift for being in the right place at the right time. There's serendipity here, and there's a determination to follow through with commitments. It's very much about being in the body and enjoying the experience and the love of your body. It can also be the opposite, so we do really want to get in line with that. There's surrender here. This is in the abstract experiential thematic. It's about getting the full learnings of any experience. And it's really helpful to not have expectations here, but to really be in the experience for the experience itself. There's a lot of living and learning here, and allowing life to teach you what you need to learn. So that is the personal, when this is a trait in somebody's individual design.
So Jason, we're going to go into this a little bit, but we want to hear in a minute your reflections on both what Vanessa was talking about, the personal, but also your experience in the Penta when you're working with groups with the 46. Vanessa, keep going.
Okay. So once you are in a Penta in a group of 3 to 5 people, this shifts into the skill of coordination, and the Penta is stabilized. So it's the ability to stabilize the group into a cohesive unit. And this is also where the group's personality is developed. There's the quality of presence here, helping the group be more present, focused on the task at hand and ready to work, bringing balance and harmony to the group. It feels good to go out and interact with clients when this energy is around, the suppliers, and having them interact with you and the group. And it also brings adaptation to the group and the ability to interact with markets in a coordinated way and figuring out what is required. So the energy is a little bit different in a group, and you could see just from what this energy brings to a group what a small group might be like if they are missing this energy, which is a whole other thing that we get into in BG5 when we are working on small groups and teams and really trying to create groups that are as harmonious as possible, and how to work with things that come up when certain aspects of the penta are missing.
That was great. Thanks, Vanessa. All right, Jason, we're going to give you the big task, and we're going to have Banu chip in a few minutes and tell us in her experience what she's observed too. So how would you, in the simplest terms possible, contrast your personal trait of the 46 with how it operates in a penta with a small group?
Okay, the interesting thing is the personal one I can say 100% um the notes that are written here is actually related to me. It's the surrender part of it, like being in the right place at the right time and then connect back to my body, being fully in my body. Yeah, this is all what's happened to me, because most of the time, for example, in Taipei I stay alone. In Malaysia I stay with my mom, so my maximum numbers is actually 2, so it's not penta. So when we look at the penta part, when you talk about the penta, next slide. Yeah, coordinations. I do not actually see myself there. The interesting thing is, I do not actually see myself connect with being a coordinator in a person that who actually link that the whole thing together. I do not see that. And then this is what aha to me today, I only realized that, yeah, I didn't really see it this way. Yeah.
It's interesting too, because I do believe you have this strength unconscious in your design, and I'm wondering if that's also part of why you don't see it, but potentially other people see it in you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I
if
wanted to also, yeah, Pino,
sorry,
go
Mike.
ahead.
Just go ahead. If it's a question to Jason, go ahead.
No, you take it.
All
you
right.
go.
Okay. Thank you. So I wanted to share my observations around this. My husband has this, and so we're a little like we're 6 people in family. So we have 4 children. So we have our family penta, and then we work together. So then we go into meetings with people. So it'll be 3 or more people when we're in it. And he obviously is the one who really brings that balance to the group. And in terms like he's an engineer actually, but now he does coaching. He's an ICF executive coach, and he's a yoga teacher. So that being in the body, love of the body, all that exists. Also, like, how do we take care of our bodies? So are we being fed the right things? He cooks the right food. He goes and shops for them, organic, all that, all the supplements we have to take. And, he reads books on them. So that's on the personal side. So it definitely shows up. And then when it morphs into a group dynamic, with his calmer presence, he always stabilizes the group into something. So even if you had people who would like speak loud, get flames too easily, they get angry, or they speak up loudly, or they want to say things, like really express themselves. When he's around in that meeting, everybody's calm. And no matter what happens, he has this presence of calmness in him. So I think it reflects to everybody even in heated discussions. And I believe like within our family group dynamic as well, it's him who runs the show. So like there's a way of how we sit, we eat, he cooks, we have to have a proper meal together. When we go on vacations together, it's obviously him doing the things. And usually, as women, we tend to be dominant, and I do believe I am one. But he runs that show. That's definitely there, So yeah, these are the things that I could really share. He brings something in there in terms of how we have an harmonious energy. Yeah,
Well, and thinking about what Jason was saying, that he doesn't notice it, but do you have a sense, Banu, that your husband does these things? It's just his presence alone, versus something he's actually actively doing. Can you sense the difference between just having him be there, does these things? Like you said, balance and bringing the group together.
Yeah, I think one of the things that when he's around, so like when we used to all live together with the children, when he's around, everybody is usually like in the living area space. Everybody hangs around in the living area. So I think like the bodies are pulled somehow to be in that area. If he wasn't there, the group even doesn't come together. Like I would sit in my room, probably reading something about BG5, and then the children would be on their computers. Yeah, I think his presence brings the group together, and then we do something together as a whole. So there's a component. Yeah.
Yeah, my sense, Jason, is you do the same thing. You might just not be aware of it. I know from what you just said, you don't spend a lot of time in groups, but my sense is your presence, even through the online forum that we're here, has a magnetic component to it. So I can see you drawing people in. So don't underestimate the power of your energy field, your aura. So moving over to Vanessa, is there anything you want to add or question you want to ask before we move
I'm
on?
good, thank you. Covered it
All
well.
right.
All right, so moving on to 29, which is perseverance in the individual design, and as a skill in a Penta, this is commitment. So as a personal trait in the design, this is very much about committing to saying yes to the right things, and the right things is really important. It's about saying yes to new cycles in life, saying yes correctly according to your decision-making strategy, which then allows you to persevere through whatever shows up on your path. And you do want to be very clear before you commit your energy to something. Again, and this is one of those when people aren't aware of it, and I know a lot of people that have this energy in their design, there can be the potential to say yes to everything. So you really want to be aware of following your decision-making strategy when saying yes, letting go of any expectations of the outcome, and really just enjoying the ride of whatever it is that you correctly committed to.
Just to
And
build
then
on that, just so that concept of saying yes, I found myself, especially early on when I was doing a lot of human design readings, was a good no is just as powerful as a good yes. So really opening clients up to this idea that to say no to an experience that was never meant for you to have can be so powerful because you don't have to go through that learning journey. So we
and
know
then it
that.
also,
Go ahead.
all right. So then it also opens you up for the space for the correct experience to come that you do get to say yes to.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. This is very experiential. So when we're talking about it on the personal, and I think Vanessa already mentioned this is very experiential. So once you say yes to something, you've committed yourself to this whole new learning journey, beginnings, middles, and ends. So that can be really powerful in one way and disastrous another. So on the Penta side,
Yeah, so when we take it to the small group, this actually turns into the skill of commitment and is the ability to help the group commit to a goal, to achieve the goal. You know, the group is all on the same page and committed to working together. And there is this sense of loyalty that somebody with this skill brings. This is a kind of a all for one, one for all energy. And it's the energy of working for the good of the team, taking care of responsibilities, getting along well with each other, and giving everyone this sense of actually being an insider, like being connected. It's a sense of belonging, which is so important in any group. I mean, it's one of our, human needs. And in business, this also contributes to things like not sharing insider secrets, a sense of integrity. So there is this energy of really bringing the group together in a way that dedicates the group to making the business work. And again, when you understand this as a skill, you can see how problematic this could be if the skill is not present, and wanting to know how you can make up, if you're in a small group that doesn't have this, what are the things that you could potentially do to help make up for this skill other than hiring somebody that has it? And you get to learn how to do that in BG5. So there will be a link in the show notes if you want to learn more about how to really understand how to use this information, this wisdom in your own business and the business of others as well. And I am excited to hear Banu talk about this because Banu brings this skill, or Banu brings this skill to the BG5 administrative team, or to the team that runs the BG5 Institute, the faculty and the administration. And I would love to hear whatever you have to say about it, Bonnie, your experience, how it shows up in teams, how it is different as a trait as an individual versus a skill. I want to hear everything.
Well, thank you for the invitation. So I think I'd like to begin by speaking to the personal side of things and how that has shown up for me. So I am a person who perseveres through things, definitely. And yeah, when I was especially younger, I also have the willpower not defined. So it kind of turned into a problem as well, because being able to persevere through whatever shows up, which I did. I raised my own children. I had a very busy job. I also did my studies. So I can definitely persevere. But if you say yes to everything and you're overcommitting, and then you try to persevere through that, and me being an advisor, I was very hard on myself when I was younger, let me put it that way. And until I found the knowledge and started really living it, that I started becoming aware of how it was really showing up in my life. If you go back to my chart, that combination of willpower undefined, emotion, so then that's overcommitting, emotional intelligence not defined, so I don't want to conflict and say no and, confront people somehow. And then I have this perseverance that doesn't lead into a very good combination of, doing good for yourself, especially when your mind is so strong and the conditioning. So yeah, so thank God I found the knowledge, and I'm doing my work as much as I can. So on the group side, I think this has been something great to have for me in my business life. And I worked in the corporate life for 25 years, and I left Microsoft. It's been just like more than a year now. And I was a sales director there, and I had teams to manage. So my team actually, we really were like this. So this all for one for all was definitely there within my team. Everybody was so committed to delivering. And Microsoft is a place, of course, it's like a big OC16. It's a huge Y, and it's striving. It's always pushing to deliver material success and all these growth mindset growing. So it's a tough environment to be in. And being a sales team, you got to deliver, right? So my teams have always been very committed, and they watched each other's backs. So they would help each other, not me as a manager only helping individually what happens, like people in my team, all the salespeople, but they also helped each other. And then I would have like one person volunteer, okay, I'm going to run this meeting. I'm going to design this. I'm going to take, like, they would always take stretch assignments, and one person would take the responsibility of managing something that doesn't fall under anybody's role definition, let me put, but we always wanted to do extra things. So somebody would definitely put their hand up and say, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And then coordinate the whole team. So just pulling that and everybody being committed to really making the business work, it really was there. So it's great to have. So that's like a knit team that delivers as well. Yeah, my team's always, we always delivered. So that was a good thing. As a sales team, you want to deliver. You're really measured on it.
I know, I
Yeah.
love hearing your stories, and especially, you had such a successful life in the corporate world, and now hearing your stories and reflecting back and seeing your design in action from a business sense, it's really gratifying to hear. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Jason, how are you noticing this both in your personal and your professional life?
My personal perseverance is part of my life. Okay. I do enjoy focus on the thing that commit on the thing that's I liked and I enjoy doing it. I love doing it. So I will definitely fully committed to achieve the result and then to go all out to complete the whole thing. This is my personal life. Then when you talk about Penta, just now when I listened to Banu explain, and then I sort of recall some things that happens. Okay, because I've been doing training, corporate training for companies and also for kids. So when I talk about kids, teenagers, the young teenagers, age of like maybe 18 to 26. So along the weekends that we train them, a lot of them they have the tendency to be very close to me, and then it's like being an insider, the sense of belonging. They even call me daddy, you know, that sort of things that they I have no idea what I did, but the energy actually connect to, just imagine they have kids right now. They even ask their kids to call me grandfather. You know, I became grandparents of, you know, the kids of a lot of people. Okay, that's kind of thing. Maybe it's the feelings, maybe it's the commitment that I put in, and then they have the strong feeling of being togetherness, the being the loyal, the with the integrity that we have, we go towards the same direction. So maybe that is part of it. Yeah.
Wow, that's such a great story. Daddy and granddad.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Vanessa, you
love
have a
that.
question for Jason?
Yeah, just like really making everybody feel like an insider. I love that. That's really cool. Yeah, and I'm excited to see how this all plays out with the entire strength as well.
Yeah.
I feel a little jealous not having either the 29 or the 46 to hear
But
both
you
of
know
your
what? We get
stories.
to be wise about it. We get to become really wise about it.
But you
Get a
can
little
benefit
jealous.
from it. We're in the same team, Mike.
That's true.
Institute.
That's totally true. All right, so I have a question, same question for each of you. So Jason, what advice would you give someone who maybe is just learning about design or is new to design or BG5, if they have the 2946 discovery, what advice would you give them to understand it and to live into it?
Okay, my advice to based on 46. So I want to take out one keywords. Okay, the keywords is called surrender. I think if we want to learn BG5 or learn human design, the first thing is surrender ourselves, not using our brain. We start you just imagine God gave us five senses, but we focus on brain, which is not one of our senses. And then now AI come in. AI took away our brain, you know, sort of like took away our brain ability. So we are not using our senses, we are not using our brain, we believe in AI. So a lot of things that we are not actually being who we are. So for me, the advice I could give is actually the first thing, surrender. Like what I learned, because when I met human design, which is in like some time ago, when I first met human design, I cannot take it. I can't take it because the interpretations of the contents is things that I cannot accept. So when I start to learn by myself, only I slowly understand that the meaning is not like this. It's based on how we interpret it, how the neutrinos actually have the information link with us, and then how we connect back. This is all um if I if I'm not surrendering myself, surrendering my mind, if I'm not allowing myself to be who I am and not trying to be who I want to be, I will not be here. I cannot actually absorb the such a huge informations, the powerful information that I have right now in apply. Until today, I do not dare to teach anybody about this. It's because I'm still applying, I'm still looking forward to it, I'm still looking at it, you know. So a lot of interesting thing inside is is very powerful. If based on 46, if based on 29, then a keywords that I would like to pull out is actually if we allow ourselves to surrender, then next thing, commit to it. Go all out. Don't think, don't do anything, because our body sensation, our body reaction, our body response will actually let us know whether we are ready or we are there or not. So I think this path is very powerful, it's worth going, and I myself enjoy it very much. That's what I want to say.
That was really well said. I get the sense, even though it's unconscious for you, you still have a really powerful self-understanding around it. And to me, the two words popped in is you're a living embodiment of that frequency.
Oh.
So, yeah, very cool. Banu, any advice for our 29s out there?
Yeah, I think the advice that I would, my 2 cents would be aware of your power. It's something quite strong that a person can bring to a team. Okay, so I'd like to do this more on the team side. That power of like having everyone on the same page, everyone watching out for each other and really being dedicated to make the business work, creating that loyalty, I think is becoming more and more important in the business world, because the background frequency is changing and we're moving to now more individual, and it's in the background, and all companies are thinking like, how do we keep our talent? How do we still keep them here? Yeah. So it's something that's important in the business world. And if you have 29, this is something you can bring to all your team. So being for the individuals with the 29 also to be able to be in alignment with their true self is important. So if you're really in your not self and you're doing things off with your mind and you're not honoring your design, that could really throw everybody off in the first sense. Yeah. So if you honor yourself and be aware of your power, because there's so much you can do for a good team to really deliver things. Yeah. You can put a group of people together, that's a group, but for you to be a team, it requires commitment and everyone agreeing this is we're committed to being a team. So that feeling is important, I think. And that's what makes a team a team.
Well said too. So building on what I said to Jason, Vanessa said this word, when Vanessa said it, rang in my head because it so applies to you, is the concept of integrity. To me, you radiate, you exemplify this concept of integrity. So that always is a quality that rings true for me when I interact with you. Yeah. Vanessa, anything you want to add or any questions that we haven't asked?
I just want to say thank you. This is so enlightening for me. Not having any skills, traits, strengths in this part of the chart, I always love hearing people's experiences that have not only have this in their design, but are embodied in it. So I learned so much today. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate you.
You're so welcome. And I think there's one thing I want to add, Mike, because the 29 is also something of importance in OC16s. So that's the angle I also wanted to bring in.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So, and it was interesting. I was just teaching the power base that the 29 sits in is interaction. It's a quality like a business driver within a business that we need, coming together, bonding together, and that's how the group is formed. And Ra actually said the 29 morphs into being something very important in an OC16. So anytime we have more than 10 people, we apply the OC16 knowledge, yes? So the Penta knowledge is for 3 to 5, but up to 10. And then you go to OC16. So it says it's very important because this 29 is what locks people in to committing to the company, but it's more than what it does in a Penta. This is like, it almost like focuses all the individuals within that bigger organization. Think of like bigger organizations, like even Microsoft, you know, the real big ones. Everybody's committed, concentrating on doing their work. So it locks people in in terms of their aura, and they're committed. So they forget to eat lunch, they forget to go home. Everybody's working, working, working. So that's what it does in a WA. And that's what the WA wants. It wants all the individuals to contribute to its success. Yeah, the trans-auric organization that we're part of. So that's what the 29 does, he said. And he also gave, in his notes, he also gave a funny example, because I wrote an article on it even. I have a Substack where I write, like when I'm inspired, I write things. So he talked about the shopping mall. So he goes, every time you go shopping, you go into a WA, which is, a group. And there, because of the 29, you're locked in now. This is where we shop. So you got to shop. So he says, if you're a business owner, you want to open something like where the shopping district is, because then you take the power of the WA. And if you're an individual, watch out, because you're going to go out for coffee and come back with a jacket. So
That's a
so
good
that's
story.
raw humor, but it was nice. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's so
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, Jason, Banu, thank you so much. This was really wonderful. So this was episode 21. 22 is we're going to be focusing on the 214. So we're completing the lower half of the penta. Vanessa is going to be our resident expert on that too. She has the whole strength, whereas I just have the two, and we'll have some other guests as well. So Jason, Banu, thank you so much for joining us. We loved having you. You were great.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks, everyone. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And welcome back to BG5 Live. So we are approaching the end of March, episode 21.
Welcome everyone to BG5 Live. This is the show for BG5 and human design professionals, students, and enthusiasts who want a deeper understanding of how to apply human design to business so that they can thrive in their careers and support their clients in doing the same. So we have Mike here today. We have a special guest, Jason Lee here, and of course me, Vanessa Naja, and really excited to dive into some Penta skills today.
I just love your introductions. They're so cool. So we are in session number 2, or podcast number 2 of our Penta Skills and Strengths. And so we have some very special guests, very excited. We have Banu Seaton, we had Banu on probably 2 or 3 months ago when just before she was starting her BG5 OC16 class, which I'm really hear about, which was very exciting. We loved having you. And Jason Lee is hailing from Taipei. He has been gracious enough to show up at midnight for this. So he looks wide awake. I'm really surprised, and we're really psyched to have him here. So Jason, I understand that you have taken every single class in BG5, which is astounding. Would you like to share your experiences of what it's been like in the Institute for you?
Hi everyone. I'm Jason from Malaysia, but currently in Taiwan, Taipei. I liked about the whole syllabus, the BG5 syllabus, is because it's very down to earth. That the things that we share here is actually that I can easily use in my daily life, no matter in my work life or my personal life. So I enjoy it very much. So that's why I keep on attend every semester. I make sure myself, like from year 2020, I start to get involved in BG5, and then start to like learn part by part slowly every month, and then every semester until now.
Jason, I know that we talked a little bit before we jumped in the session. Are you using BG5 with clients either just to understand people you're working with or sharing their designs with them?
Yes, I do. I not really using the design, but using the concept by itself. For example, talking about neutrinos, talking about how people influence others, and talking about where to fit in, what's what's behavior that I have or others have. So I use the knowledge of BG5 more towards like the interaction, the communication, how to deal with people. Because the main thing about this life, I believe, is related to people, and then people are the only issue and the only problem is this in the world, I believe so. So that's why I spend a lot of time not actually analyzing others, but more towards like analyzing myself. Like when I'm sitting next to that person, how come my behavior or my intention shift, my energy shift. So I start to realize all these details in order to be with people, uh whether am I going to join them or cooperate with them or not, mainly based on my body reaction, body sensations, to understand whether I have the move or not.
Hmm. So you have a lot of definition in your design, and my design is, in contrast, is so open. So I have this ability to pick up on frequency. So this is only the first or second time we've actually met. But knowing your studies, knowing how much you know about design, your frequency to me kind of radiates this level of self-acceptance. Do you feel like, since knowing your design,